So, have you ever had one of those brilliant ideas for a novel? A character you just can't shake, but then you get stuck trying to actually bring it to life on the page? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to build a roadmap that'll take you from that first tiny spark of an idea all the way to a finished, publishable novel. Let's do this together, one step at a time.
And this quote from C.S. Lewis, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Creating characters that feel real, characters that readers actually connect with and remember long after they finish the book, well, that's one of the biggest challenges for any writer. It's often the one thing that separates a good idea from a truly great story.
So many aspiring novelists run smack into what you could call the stick figure problem. Your character does everything the plot needs them to do, right? They say the right things, they show up on time, but they just feel flat. They're like puppets being moved around a stage, and trust me, readers can feel it. This is exactly where so many amazing ideas start to lose their magic.
Okay, so how do we solve this? Well, the first step is to go way beyond simple characterization and really learn the craft of building a person on the page.
Most of us start right here with characterization. We make our lists. Brown hair, walks with a limp, loves coffee, hates liars. And look, those details are important. They give us a kind of surface-level sketch of the person. But characterization is only the first layer. It's really just the mask a person wears.
And that brings us to a really crucial distinction, a concept from the legendary story consultant Robert McKee. See, characterization is what we see on the outside. But true character, that's who the person is, deep down in their core. And that inner self, it isn't revealed by their favorite coffee order. No way. It's revealed by the choices they make when everything is on the line.
Which, of course, is the big question, isn't it? If characterization is just the mask, how in the world do we build the complex, contradictory, and deeply human person that's hiding behind it? Well, author Larry Brooks gives us a really clear framework for this, breaking it down into 3 dimensions. The first dimension is just that, characterization. It's what you see. The second dimension, now that's the why. It's the backstory, the old wounds, the experiences that made them this way. But the third dimension? That's who they really are, and it only ever comes out through their actions when they're facing real conflict. Okay, so you've built this complex, 3-dimensional character. Fantastic. Now it's time to actually, write the book. And that brings us to our next phase, getting that story out of your head and onto the page.
Anyone who has ever sat down to write a book knows this feeling. It's just you and that blinking cursor on a blank page, day after day. It can feel so isolating, and it's incredibly easy to lose your motivation. But guess what? The journey doesn't have to be a solo mission.
This is why joining a critique group can be an absolute game changer. They give you invaluable feedback on your craft, helping you see plot holes or character moments that just don't work, things you're way too close to notice yourself. They give you accountability, that little bit of pressure to actually hit your deadlines. And pretty soon, they become your network, your cheerleaders, and your friends in the writing trenches.
After you get all that great feedback, the next stage belongs to you and you alone. Best-selling author Jerry Jenkins puts it perfectly. You just can't be precious with your first draft. To get it ready for readers, you have to be willing to cut, to rewrite, and to polish with a ruthless focus.
In fact, Jenkins has 21 specific rules that he follows, and he argues that editors can spot an amateur manuscript from the very first page just based on the number of common mistakes they see. Getting this right is what separates a finished draft from a professional manuscript.
So let's just focus on 3 of the most powerful rules. First, omit needless words. If a word isn't doing essential work, get rid of it. Second, the classic advice, show, don't tell. Instead of just saying a character is angry, describe their clenched fists and their tight jaw. Let the reader feel it. And finally, resist the urge to explain. Trust your reader. They're smart. They'll get it.
All right, your manuscript is lean, it's powerful, and it is polished. You've created something you're really proud of, so now what? Let's talk about the final leg of this journey, getting your book into the hands of readers.
If you're aiming for a traditional publishing deal, where a publisher pays you in advance and takes on all the financial risk, you almost always need a literary agent. See, most major publishing houses don't even look at manuscripts that come in off the street. Agents are the industry's curators. Their job is to find the best work and champion it to editors.
And your key to unlocking that gate is the query letter. Now listen, it's not a book report. It is a sales pitch. It's a short, professional letter designed to do one thing and one thing only:
Convince an agent that your book is so compelling, they just have to request the full manuscript.
The process can really be broken down into 3 simple stages. First, and I cannot stress this enough, don't even think about querying until your manuscript is as perfect as you can possibly make it. Second, craft a killer pitch that captures the hook, the conflict, and the stakes of your story. And third, do your homework. Personalize each letter to show the agent you chose them specifically for a reason.
Now, that traditional route can be a long, tough road, full of rejection. But today, it is not the only way to become a published author. What if you want to take control of your own destiny?
And this right here illustrates the fundamental trade-off between the 2 paths. In traditional publishing, the publisher invests in you. In self-publishing, you invest in yourself. You pay for the professional editing, the cover design, the marketing, but you also keep a much bigger slice of the profits, and you maintain complete creative control. Neither path is right or wrong, they're just fundamentally different. So, where does this all leave us? We've covered a tremendous amount of ground here, charting a course through the entire author journey.
We started with the absolute heart of any story, a living, breathing character built on 3 dimensions. Then we moved through the practical, hard work of writing and the ferocious discipline of self-editing. And we ended by looking at the gates of the publishing world and the keys you'll need to open them. This is the path.
The tools are here. The path is clear. But you know, all of this knowledge is just potential until you apply it. So the only real question left is the one on the screen. What story are you waiting to tell?